this joint public hearing was convened to discuss the proposed phase-out of the Urban Assembly Academy for History and Citizenship for Young Men. The decision to phase out a school is the toughest one that we at the Department of Education make. And I can assure you that it is one we do not take lightly. In reaching this decision, we examine many factors and data points about and from the school. In addition, we reach out to community members, elected officials, Department of Education staff, superintendents, and into the school itself to speak with students and families about these decisions. All of us at the Department of Education, all of us, count on our schools, every one of them, to provide a high-quality education for all students across the city. And we must hold all of our schools to the same high standard of excellence, because every child in New York City, in all 5 boroughs, at all grade levels, every child deserves the very best in public education. And so when a school is not getting the job done for students, and when the data bears that out, and when we see a trend over time, where students are not being served, it is our obligation to take action to ensure that current students have better options and do not fall further behind, and future students who may consider applying to the school in question also have better options. One final note about this evening before I proceed to a description of the proposal. I want to be clear that the purpose of this evening is not to decide on this proposal. That responsibility falls to the panel for education policy, which will meet in early February to have an official vote. Our purpose this evening is to conduct a hearing, and we're here to do just that. We're here to hear and to hear each other, and we look forward to an honest conversation this evening. So on to the proposal itself. The Urban Assembly Academy for History and Citizenship for Young Men is located here at the William Taft Campus at 240 East 172nd Street in Community School District 9 in the Bronx. It currently serves male students in grades 9 through 12. On December 17, 2010, as many of you know, the Department of Education published an Education Impact Statement which proposed the phase-out and eventual closure of the Urban Assembly Academy for History and Citizenship based on its poor performance and the Department of Education's assessment that the school lacks the ability to turn around quickly to better support its students. Urban Assembly for History and Citizenship performance data suggests that the school has struggled, and I'll share 3 overall data points. One on graduation rates, one on its progress report status, and the other on concerns about safety here at the school. Last year, the 4-year graduation rate, including August graduates at the school, was 43%, 20 points lower than the citywide average of 63%. Further, if Regents diplomas alone counted toward graduation, as they will next year, the 2009-2010 graduation rate at this school would drop to 16%, 30 points below the citywide average of 46%. The school's progress report paints a similar picture. The school earned an overall F grade with an F in student performance and student progress, and a C grade on school environment. Progress report results for this school put the school in the bottom 2% of high schools citywide that received a 2009-10 progress report. And finally, safety issues have been a concern at UA for history and citizenship in recent years. On the most recent progress report, 36% of students reported feeling unsafe here at school, in hallways, bathrooms, and lockers. That same year, more than 10% of parents expressed concerns about their child's safety. In addition, 35% of teachers here reported that discipline and order were not maintained in the school. So it is based on these evaluations and these data points that the Department of Education engaged in a comprehensive review of the school's performance to determine which supports and interventions best suited the needs of this school. As I mentioned, in doing this, the department consulted superintendents and other experienced educators who have worked closely with this school, and held community meetings with parents, students, and school staff to solicit their feedback. While seeking to better understand the root causes of the school's low performance, the department continued to offer support to the school, including extensive training for school leadership and teachers, helping the school implement a student advisory program, providing additional staff and supports to the school, and resources for staff training, as mentioned, supporting teacher teams in the use of data to improve their practice, and specifically their work with students with disabilities and students performing below grade level. Based on our comprehensive review and the evidence that additional supports were not working, the Department of Education believes that only the most serious intervention, the phase out and eventual closure of this school, will address long-standing performance struggles and allow for new school options to develop that will better serve future students here on this campus and in the broader community. And I want to say a quick word about the rest of this campus and the impact of this proposal would have on the other schools located here. As many of you know, Urban Assembly is currently co-located with 5 other schools here on the Taft Campus. All 6 schools opened within the past decade. All are fully phased in. 5 of the schools, UA History and Citizenship, Bronx Expeditionary Learning High School, Dream Yard Preparatory, Bronx High School of Business, and Jonathan Levin School for Media and Communication, many of the other schools are also represented here this evening, I should note. All schools serve students in grades 9 through 12. The Bronx High School for Medical Science serves students in grades 6 through 12. The building also houses a life program, Living for the Young Family Through Education. Currently, the schools within the Taft building enroll a total of 2,334 students, of whom 2,172 are in grades 9 through 12. In the 2010-11 school year, the projected utilization of this building, X410, is 81%. So if this proposal is approved in February by the Panel for Education Policy, the 5 other schools located here on the Taft campus would continue to serve students, their current students, at their current enrollment levels. The department does not anticipate introducing any other new schools onto the Taft campus at this time. Before I turn it back over to Melissa for public comment, I'd like to briefly discuss the impact that this proposal, if approved, would have on current UA students and families. So if approved, UA would no longer admit new 9th grade students after the conclusion of this school year, the 2010-11 school year. Current students would continue to be supported here at UA throughout the phase-out process over the next number of years. More detailed information about enrollment options for current students is provided in the fact sheet and the EIS. And we have folks from the enrollment office available this evening for questions if there are questions. In cases where students currently enrolled at UA do not complete their course of study and graduation requirements by June 2014, and I should note June 2014 is when the school will complete its phase out, the department will help students and families identify alternative learning settings where they can complete their education and continue to work toward graduation. So here concludes my comments. Melissa, I'll hand it back over to you.
Thank you.
This is probably one of the toughest things I've had to do to convince this panel here of the terrible disservice they're doing to the children here. But I'm going to do my very best. I can take up all my time refuting all the lies that you just told. But I'm going to go ahead with this PowerPoint presentation, and hopefully you will see the truth as it goes along. I do want to thank the parents that came out here. I see plenty of parents. I see alumni parents. I see the alumni here. Thank all the staff who were so helpful in showing their support in creating this presentation and helping me all through here. So I thank you very much. I'm disgusted that some of them were threatened with coming to speak out against this panel, where they were told maybe their jobs would be in jeopardy or they would be blacklisted and schools wouldn't want them. You know, it disgusts me that we just took off one day to celebrate the birth of Martin Luther King, and here we are in 2011 trying to stifle educators' right to speak and advocate on behalf of the children. So I'm disappointed in that. But now we'll move on. You know, let me just say this right on the jump, instead of wasting a lot of time. When the superintendent came to speak to our staff, and they gave all these stats that he just read out to the city, you know, I don't make excuses for our Black and Latino boys, but the stats are what it is. And we know that our boys suffer in every negative category